play it by ear. You know, I think I've adapted to situations like similar to this in the past, but they say this is as unique as it gets, so I'm excited about it. This year, I'm ready for the challenge. I'm stronger and I'm more focused, and I can commit to the demands of what it's going to take and feel good about it.
More importantly, having bypassed Wimbledon even when he was ranked 3rd and 4th in the world, and with only one match on grass in his pro background, can Agassi adapt his baseline game? He thought that weightlifting would prepare him for this heavyweight championship of tennis.
No question, here at Wimbledon, it's just a complete power game, and it favors those who are strong, who can bully people around the court. Return to serve is really important here at Wimbledon. It's not very hard to hold serve here. The question is, how often can you break? So if I can stay focused enough to hold serve, I think my return will come through for me, and I think I'll be able to, you know, to get my chances, if anything, and to put up a fight, and that's all really I expect to do.
And still more important to the world at large, what will Andre Agassi wear to satisfy Wimbledon's mostly white dress code?
Wimbledon's going to let me wear all my colors. They changed their rules.
Just for you.
Yeah.
Sure. And Saddam Hussein is getting the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, we're just about to see who, in fact, has changed whose rules as we go back to center court now for the unveiling, and you are going to see that Andre Agassi, who could not conceivably curry more favor with the tournament committee than this, has taken Wimbledon's all-white restriction to the limit, just as John McEnroe's outfit by the same clothing manufacturer suggested a couple of days ago he might. So now, Andre Agassi's return to Wimbledon is at hand. Just a final taste now of a build-up for the big event. Andre Agassi, 21 years old, from Las Vegas, Nevada. Second Wimbledon appearance. Opponent Grant Connell of Vancouver, Canada. In his 3rd Wimbledon appearance, Agassi is wearing all white. White shirt, white shorts, white bicycle shorts, white socks, white shoes, black trim, white headband, white shoelaces, black watch. Yellow balls, Arthur.
Red racket.
A touch of color.
Maybe the first athlete in quite a while to make the front page of Women's Wear Daily.
One final color note for the moment, blue skies. His first official act at Wimbledon. Well, it's a far cry from Edgar Grosset, isn't it?
Well, it certainly lasted about 3 times as long. Bill Jacobson, our head numbers cruncher here, will have to recompute. He may skew those numbers for time of play. He's putting a sound dampener on the racket there. That keeps the strings from making so much noise. Keeps them from moving a little bit, possibly, as well. Basically sound.
15 all.
Double fault.
Agassi, I don't think, has ever played on the center court.
30, 15.
And so he's got to find his own markers out here. Every court's got markers. They're the little guidelines, benchmarks. You use these markers or benchmarks
40-15.
to actually help guide you in play. I used to toss my serve, the ball up in certain places, a drain pipe, or they're just familiar signs on every court like this.
What's different about center court here?
Big surrounding area.
40-30.
Well,
And therefore an unusual visual perspective. 2 double faults now for Andre. Nervous, Arthur?
he's a fast player anyway.
Game Agassi. First
And
game.
you see Agassi let out a deep breath. We look back at Andre's first appearance here at Wimbledon in 1987 when, on an outer court, he was beaten by Henri Leconte. No shame in that. Leconte was one of the premier shot makers in the game at that time. It was an easy straight set win for Leconte, 6-2, 6-1, 6-2. And after that, Andre made some statements to the effect that he didn't think his game was suited to this surface, and thus the long absence from Wimbledon prior to this year. And there is a look at Grant Connell, and we make the observation now that Agassi, in his rain-delayed first appearance this year, duplicates the experience of 1987, when that first appearance in the tournament against Leconte was delayed 2 days by rain. He's been waiting.
Connell to serve.
Well, I think at least on paper the result might be a bit better this time. We'll see. Since Grant Connell is a very good doubles player, teaming up with his countryman Glenn Michabata,
Seated 4th here.
you know he returns serve well and he volleys quite well. If there is some weakness for Agassi on this surface, that's where it is. Wide to his backhand. Even though that's a very good stroke, the grass is going to add a few extra miles per hour to any serve. And Connell is a left-hander, so when he serves from the ad court, I think he's going to get a lot of points from the Agassi backhand.
Love. Game of Connell.
So Connell holds serve to even things up. He's had some big wins, coming off a victory over Yvonne Lindell on grass at Queen's Club just 2 weeks ago. He's also beaten Jim Courier, Aaron Crickstein, Dan Goldie at various times in his career.
Oh, he can play, and I think it's a good way for Agassi to establish himself.
Pretty good first-round barometer.
Well,
15 love.
after seeing one service game and one other point, it doesn't look like he's going to be a
serve and volley are in the Edberg mode.
All.
Double fault number 3. Has that weak wing again. Gonna have
15-30.
to learn to anticipate moving to his left a little bit more. Quickly, that is. Well, Connell will chip and come in now. Wonderful opportunity for that. Oh, bad bounce.
30 all.
Those were the tools of a double specialist. Waiting for just the right moment to hit the underspin deep into the court, come in, take your chances.
Break point, second serve. Connell moves up inside the baseline. Good forehand.
It's going to take Agassi a bit of time to find the range, along with the markers that I mentioned. The same for Grant Connell. Smart play on Connell's part. He is actually, in effect, saying, Agassi, if you don't want him to come to the net, I'm going to come to the net.
And of course, like Agassi, he's never been past the first round at Wimbledon. Never been on center court. Second break point chance on a second serve.
Deuce.
I don't think those missed returns from Connell is going to discourage him later. That'll start to wear on Agassi should Connell do that successfully early in the match.
Advantage Connell.
Break point number 3.
Big change of pace. Agassi decided to chip the ball very crisply, and Connell was a bit too anxious to make an approach shot out of it.
Advantage Agassi. Game Agassi.
So Agassi fights off the first 3 break points of the match and holds serve to go up 2-1.
Agassi leads 2 games to 1 first set.
And we will take a look now at Andre Agassi's record in Grand Slam tournaments coming into this. And he's got a little bit of the syndrome that haunted Ivan Lendl early in his career. 3 times a finalist, not yet over the hump to win a championship. And semifinalist 3 other times, always at the U.S. Open or the French.
Certainly knocking on the door. Hasn't opened it yet. I think he will quite a few times before his career is over. Grant Connell may be the best player ever to come out of Saskatchewan. Connell has had 3 break points, hasn't converted any. Agassi not doing very well at all when Connell is serving.
And on each of the 3 breakpoint opportunities, Connell got a chance to move up against Agassi's second serve, but he wasn't able to hit an authoritative return to take command of the point on any of those 3 occasions.
Now that's what Agassi does extremely well when he's got the range, and I think he'll find it rather soon here and force Connell to back up a bit.
So you're saying Andre's greatest strength on grass ought to be his return of serve?
Off of his opponent's second serve. Very dangerous. There, that's what I mean. The advantage that someone like
15 all.
Agassi, Chang also would be very dangerous from your second serve. Step in and nail it with a 2-handed backhand. You don't know where it's going.
Thirty, 15.
Agassi's last tournament appearance took him to the final of the French Open, where he lost to his former Voluntary Tennis Academy classmate, Jim Courier.
Forty, 15.
Well, after that first point, the average time of points in this match is dropped a bit.
Game o'clock.
Connell holding serve commandingly and
2 games
seems to
all
have
for set.
his first serve for the moment under control.
He is playing well within himself, and his game plan has emerged, and that is to keep the ball down the middle with some underspin. And get to the net as quickly as possible. Agassi is now ahead of the ball on his ground strokes, both the return of serve and the ground strokes behind the baseline. The ball isn't coming through as predictably as it would on cement or clay. And so his hands, being so fast, are just ahead of the ball.
$15, 30.
A little bit ahead again. As I mentioned, Jim, most good doubles players, like Connell, have very good returns of serve and very steady volleys.
$30 all.
High-tipping second serve.
More
40,
topspin than
30.
side spin. Side spin is certainly more effective.
So after falling down 15-30, Agassi easily holds
Agassi
serve in
leads.
Game 5, and we are level on serve, 5 games into the first set of Andre Agassi's first match at Wimbledon in 4 years.
Agassi decides almost at the last minute to come to the net after hitting that very forcing shot from the baseline. Connell did the right thing in guessing one way or the other. He just guessed wrong.
Career highlights for Andre Agassi, and we list here the 1 title he's won in 1991 and the 4 tournaments that he won a year ago. And of course, you have to include in there the fact, Arthur, that he has been to the final of 3 Grand Slam championships and semifinal of 3 others.
Yes, his critics say that he has gotten that far, that is to the final of 3 Grand Slams, has not won any of them, but I say there are a lot of players who haven't done that.
But 3 years ago, what would you have said if someone had told you that his contemporaries, Michael Chang and Jim Courier and Pete Sampras, would all win Grand Slams before Andre?
About Sampras, I would have agreed, possibly. Courier and Chang, no. I would have said, you've got to be kidding.
15 love.
That's what David Wheaton said about it. This group, only now Wheaton and Agassi are without slams as we look at the number of times coming to the net.
30 love.
And there are a lot of people here who think that David Wheaton has a better chance of winning Wimbledon than does Andre Agassi.
Well, he's got the height for it. Not sure he's steady enough yet, especially on the forehand. We'll see. There, an example of those quick hands. And look where Agassi is standing to hit this ball. He's standing right on the baseline, taking the ball on the rise.
Not too many players can rip the ball like this off such a short stroke.
Especially with very little body torque. He's virtually facing the net the entire time and still manages to rip it cross court. Part of it, of course, is the racket. These rackets are just so much more powerful than they were, say, 10 years ago. If you do have the timing, even with very little body torque, you can rip it.
Connell chooses to go ahead and take the volley in the air.
3 games all, first set.
It's the thing to do. He's going to be over there, that backhand side of Agassi's all day. Agassi's going to have to start to move a shade a bit toward his left, leave the center surface open.
Love 15.
He doesn't look super confident, does he?
Not in his service games.
No, I think he's still groping. He's just feeling his way, trying to acclimate himself to everything. 3 double faults already.
$15 on. 15-30.
Agassi didn't finish off that volley. Mentally left it before it was finished. Looking at the first serve percentages for both players, Connell way out in front, even though there's a bit of sting behind each one. Ball's not coming through.
And Connell, who squandered 3 breakpoint opportunities in the third game of the set, now has double break point.
Ooh.
30-40.
That's at least the third, maybe the fourth unforced error on a breakpoint opportunity. Now this is the fourth crack at breakpoint on a second serve.
Oh, I'm not sure if that tipped the net. I think it did. The ball tipped the net, bounced into Agassi's racket. He just held it there, and it went over the net.
Deuce.
Now watch this next forehand by Connell. Oh, a reprieve.
Makes Connell 0 for 5 in breakpoints. And you harken back to Elna Reinach, who missed so many opportunities against Martina Navratilova. Great get.
But I think he may have touched the net before the shot was dead. Let's see. Let's see.
Advantage Connell.
Yes. Jim, the umpire has determined that when Agassi did get this drop shot, in sliding he hit the net before the ball bounced the second time. So,
Another breakpoint opportunity. The 6th of the set for Grant Connell. He's 0 for 5 so far. Ruling by chair umpire Richard Ings.
oh, Connell is now kicking himself. If only I'd hit the forehand volley cross court.
Deuce.
0 for 6.
One way to look at that is that it's getting worse. Another way to look at it, it keeps getting better. One of these times I got to convert.
Here comes number 7. And you're right, Arthur could play either way psychologically.
Well, I think now it plays in favor of Connell. Knocking on the door this many times, you're going to open it eventually. I'm throwing a double fault here now. Keep thinking that you're off the... Out.
Missed.
Game Connell. You go.
Service break for Grant Connell, the first of the match. On his 7th opportunity, he finally broke through when Andre Agassi missed the sitter down the line.
It was a
Connell
sitter.
leads 4-3 in first set.
Wrong shot selection. He really should have tried to chip that down the line. Very difficult to hit topspin when the ball is that low. And Connell is doing that, or making his backhands underspin deliberately to keep the ball low when it does bounce. It's Not going to bounce very high, which is exactly what he wants against a player like Agassi, who just loves speed. He wants as much speed from his opponents as possible.
Well, Arthur, let's talk about lefties on grass for a second, because the next right-hander that Agassi faces here will be the first one he's faced at Wimbledon. He lost to LeConte in 1987. You've had some memorable matches with lefties on grass, and of course we've seen John McEnroe win 3 championships here, saw even Isevich go to the semifinal last year. What specific problems does a left-hander present for you?
Well, all of your conditioned instincts as to how to move for the ball are turned completely around. And for a right-hander, when you are receiving serve against a left-hander, you need to take one more step to your left when going for a ball in that direction. One more step will usually do it. Especially now for Agassi when he's returning serve in the ad court.
Love 15.
If I'm not mistaken, that might be the first double fault of the match for Connell.
It is. I don't read too much into it yet.
No.
Agassi wasn't sure that serve was good.
No, but Princess Duchess of Kent got a good look at his navel.
Fifteen, 30.
That's an ace.
30 all.
Connell appears to me to be still playing well within himself. He definitely has a game plan.
$40, 30.
Connell is playing extremely well.
Connell leads 5 games
Very
to
deliberate
3.
tennis. Could have chipped this, elected to go behind Agassi. Just the right amount of speed. 1 game away from taking the first set.
Love 15.
Looking at that again. Connell with a open-faced forehand approach shot. Eventually won the point. Agassi's going to have to serve and volley a little bit more now. Can't serve and stay back as much as he's been doing. Likes to go back cross court with this, even though the backhand section was wide open.
$30, 15.
Now, should Agassi win this
14-15.
game and Connell has to serve for it, now we might see a double fault from Connell. Shaky serve. He'd better get his first serve in min.
Game Agassi.
We'll see.
We shall see. 5-4 Connell, and a chance now for him to serve for the set. Remember, he had 7 service break opportunities before he was finally able to break through. You suggested early in the set, Arthur, that you thought Agassi looked a little bit uncomfortable, not quite in the groove. Still see that?
Yes. I think the conditions, the pace of the grass is just relatively unfamiliar to Agassi, and he is still out of sync with the bounds of the court. He's ahead of his ground strokes. He likes as much speed as possible, and the grass here, in some cases, because Connell is using a lot of underspin, the ball is not coming up as high, nor as quickly as he'd like. There's his coach, Nick Bollettieri, in the glasses, and his girlfriend seated next to Nick on the left.
Time.
And you would suspect that other members of the famed Agassi entourage are nearby.
I did see them, yes. His agent, Bill Shelton, brother Phil, I'm sure they're around here someplace. I did see Bill Shelton. Terrific
15
first
love.
serve.
No double fault. Connell looks eager to close things out.
And he looks very confident.
The service.
Now, if I were Agassi, I'd move up into the double sideline. Don't know why he doesn't.
30 love. Thirty 15.
I don't know why he doesn't move over. It's just so obvious that anyone who
14,
plays Agassi is going to tell their charge, right-handed or left-handed, to do that.
And Connell has obviously seen the same thing you're looking at. Just took advantage of it in a big way.
Game and first set point. 16.
A relatively easy first set for Grant Connell.
If you look at the numbers, you'd say yes. With all those break points, it could have been 6-2.
36 minutes. And Andre Agassi has now dropped 4 sets in 4 chances in his career at Wimbledon.
He's going to have to retool now, because what he's got's not working.
Well, you say he has to serve and volley more, and that's where some of the skepticism arises, because it's not regarded as his natural game.
No, it isn't, but he can do it.
Fifteen all. 30-15.
He's also playing too fast. He has a pacing
14-15.
that looks as if I want to get this thing over with.
Faster than his natural tempo?
Well,
He likes to play fast
yes,
anyway.
he does, naturally, but still, in unfamiliar territory like this, you got to be a bit more deliberate.
Second service. Game Agassi.
Game Agassi.
First game, second set. First set, Connell.
Backhand down the line, brilliantly placed. And after Grant, Connell took the first set 6-4. Andre Agassi is up 1-love in the second, and we take a look at an overall analysis, Arthur, of the first set.
This is a very good case where the numbers belie the true story. They don't look too different except in the unforced errors category, but Connell has clearly been the superior player. I've outplayed him in just about every department. And if we looked at the number of breakpoint chances had, then this first set score should have been 6-2.
And what must be a little disconcerting to Agassi and his followers is that Connell, while he's playing well, is by no means an overpowering player.
No, but then again, the way to play Agassi on this court is not to hit the ball hard, not to be overpowering. You want to play just the way he's playing. Let up on the speed, chip the backhand, keep the forehand in the court, and when you're serving to Agassi on the backhand side, pull him as wide as you can. It's working.
So it is Connell who has, in effect, dealt the cards, and it is up to Agassi now to adjust.
Love 15.
Agassi with one of his best strokes, backhand return. Almost out, plays it anyway. Not a bad lob from that position, but Connell hit a very good high backhand cross-court volley winner. Difficult shot, that is, too.
Very difficult.
You can actually pull a tendon or a muscle trying to do that. It's a very unnatural motion. Yannick Noah and Gabriela Sabatini. Back to the net, between my legs, flipper.
Well, with the 40 days and 40 nights we've experienced of rain around here, you knew that Noah had to show up sooner or later.
Think that'll be the shot of the day in Canada?
I think it was the shot of the day all over.
Connell now senses a change in the momentum of this match. I know it's early in the second, but I see a little glimpse of it already. Here it comes.
Andre's hit 2 blistering returns right at Connell's feet in this game.
But for me, it was a look on his face. It was a look of, all right, I'm starting to figure this thing out. I'm ready to play now. facial expressions can tell a lot.
Second service.
As we said yesterday, you see the gentleman sitting astride the net. He or she will not be there anymore after this year. They're getting rid of the net court judge.
30-40.
Andre seemed a little uncertain on that return. Don't
Well,
think he thought the serve was going to be in.
Now, remember I said right-handers have to take an extra step to their left. Agassi didn't. He was reacting as if Connell were right-handed. On grass, where the ball skids a bit more anyway, you've got to take the extra step to your left. I've got to think this serve is going to his backhand. Perfect place for it.
So just as Connell had squandered his first service break opportunities, so too does Agassi.
Ooh, that was a key second serve. You don't know.
Big time.
Big time.
Momentum might have shifted again.
Yes, yes, we're talking
Advantage Connell.
saving quite a bit there. Agassi's not so sure now. Now that's the first one he's ripped like that in this match.
Deuce.
He took a step over and into the court, timed it perfectly for a winner. It's the first time. No double faults from Connell in this match so far.
Advantage Agassi.
Third break point opportunity now for Andre.
Agassi less than half the approaches.
Game.
Big smile. Service break.
Agassi leads 2-0 second set.
Combination of a slip by Connell coming in mid-court, but also Agassi now is just finding the mark a bit better, gauging the speed at which the ball comes off the grass. Jim, if you had to pick a winner now, who would you say?
Agassi.
15-love.
You?
I'm not sure. I was very pro Agassi 2 days ago, less so now. Serve and volley. You think he looked natural doing it?
He looks better than some believe he should.
30-love.
That actually looks strange to me. He just doesn't do it very often.
No, but he's 11 out of 14 when he goes up there.
Love.
He's on a roll.
That's the most frightening first serve he's hit in the match.
$40-15.
On no other surface, when Agassi has a chip approach shot hit to him, would the ball stay that low. Nowhere else.
Game Agassi.
Perfect placement. Agassi up 3-love. Momentum has shifted 180 degrees in this match.
Agassi
And
leads
we take
3
you now
games to
from
none.
center court
Second
out to
set.
court number 13, where Dan Goldie is playing the highly ranked German Michael Stich, and we join Barry and Billie Jean.
All right, Jim. We are ready out here on court 13. This is Michael Stich. What a year he is having. Seated number 6th here, ranked.
Love 15.
Love 30.
Connell is now going a bit too much to Agassi's backhand. Agassi's waiting for it, so he'll have to mix it up a bit more now.
He's crunched about 4 straight backhand returns.
Connell covers the correct part down the line, and for his part, he won the point.
First ace in a while.
30 all.
Agassi's now got Connell guessing.
Deuce.
Good time for a service winner.
Well, when you hit 2 serves like that, first serves,
Advantage Connell.
doesn't matter who you're playing against.
First service.
Not only is Agassi picking up
Deuce.
a bit more of that serve to the backhand, but the other effect of it is that it has caused Connell to be a bit more cautious, and the serve is following shorter and shorter into the service court.
First service.
And you begin to get the snowball effect.
Well, we mentioned that Agassi likes speed.
Advantage
That's a
Agassi.
very good example of it, especially when he's guessed correctly. Connell now needs a bit more spin, same depth on his serves.
Deuce.
Out.
Advantage Connell.
Agassi's having big-time problems on his backhand side. He, not getting set in too many cases to hit that backhand. When he can get set, he can really nail it, but if he can't, problems.
Deuce.
Tries to go down the line here over the high part of the net. Thought he was going to try to lob it.
And another breakpoint
Advantage
opportunity
Agassi.
in what has become a marathon game. Agassi is already up a service break in the set.
Deuce.
Move through it, Grant.
Advantage Agassi.
That's what he's saying to himself. Well, he certainly has served well when he's had to, in both sets.
But in set number one, he was able to overpower Andre on his service games. Here it's a matter of holding on.
Good recovery for both players. A diving backhand volley for Connell.
Advantage Agassi.
Right here. A la Boris Becker, falls and rolls. An easy shot. Put away for Andre Agassi. We're talking about all those break points in the first set for Connell.
Yes, Andre's
Situations-
catching up.
Yes, very quickly.
Got it.
Game Agassi.
So Agassi goes 2 service breaks up in the second set. And certainly he has his grass court legs under
Agassi
him
leads 4
by
games
now.
to love, second set.
Yes, but he still doesn't look like one who is going to challenge someone like an Edberg or a Becker.
Or if you look at his quarter of the draw, somewhere down the line, perhaps Yvonne Lendl.
15 love.
Oh, yes, he started saying that before the point was even over because he knew
15 all.
he was out of place.
Fifteen 30.
It's a very forceful put away.
30 all.
Connell's got to slow things down a little bit now. Now he's
40,
playing too
30.
quickly. And it looks like it's going to hail any minute.
Connell is allowing himself to be steamrolled in this set.
Game Agassi. Agassi leads 5 games to love, second set. First set, Connell.
Andre Agassi, born 29th of April, 1970, in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there are the winners for the match, and you can see the dramatic difference in set 2 as Andre has taken control with his ground strokes.
Certainly has. It's the difference in the two sets of scores in set 1 and set 2 that is so glaring right now. Difference of 2. I mentioned, of course, that I thought, looking back here in our studio, that it was going to hail or snow maybe any minute, and certainly it does look that way right now, but not yet. Unforced errors. Agassi clearly the leader in that department in set 1. Most interesting thing in set 2 is that the number of unforced errors for both have come down in set 2.
That, incidentally, Arthur, is a perfect sky. It's gray, isn't it?
It is, yes. Prototypical Wimbledon right now.
Is there any other color?
Well, there's purple and green.
Yes, that's right. Colors of trimming here at Wimbledon.
Love.
Well, certainly Andre Agassi is no fan of rain delays. We saw what happened to him at the finals of the French playing Jim Courier. Came out after a rain delay, wasn't the same player.
First service. Love.
Agassi's agony, not being able to reach that well-placed lob.
40 love.
Couldn't get to this ball here in time to do anything with it, and he's just a victim of the slippery grass.
hand of a well-placed shot.
Game Connell. New ball, please.
So Connell gets on the board in the second set.
Agassi leads 5 games to 1.
And now Andre will try to serve out the set.
Connell, in this set, has nothing to lose. I would think he'd take a few chances, especially on Agassi's second serves.
Try to get himself into a good frame of mind for set number 3.
Exactly.
Love. All.
Serving and volleying just a little bit more.
Yes, on that particular point, Connell guessed that Agassi was going to go to his backhand. He started running in that direction, and Agassi tried to outrun him with the ball. Couldn't do it. I'm not sure if Connell would want to do that again the way he did it. I think he changed his mind in mid-stroke. Wanted to hit a deeper one.
40-15.
Rare service ace. And double set point.
Second set, Agassi. 6 games to 1.
So Andre Agassi has won a set on grass at Wimbledon for the first time in his career. Let's take a look at some scores from some of the matches which have been completed during the brief moments of playable weather here. Australian veteran.
No, I don't. I think to come in a little bit more would only help me more. However, I have to be pretty confident to come to the net. I can't come to the net unsure about even how I'm hitting my ground strokes. Somebody like Edberg or Becker, when they've done it all their lives, you know, in tight situations, even if they're not confident, they know what they're going to do. But me, if I'm coming to the net, I have to be pretty confident on how I'm hitting the ball.